So how do people do this the most effective, right? What have you guys built here that kind of sets Deal Machine apart, and how can they take advantage of it?
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, when I was starting out, I struggled. I was building my list. I was writing down addresses, and that was causing me to have a follow-up problem because I was addicted to finding the properties, and I had been building my list, maybe like 100 leads over the course of 30 days, and that was not enough to I didn't handwrite those letters right away. So being able to be in front of the house and send a postcard immediately will get you in front of that owner right away.
Matt Cam, David Lecko, welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right. Great to see you guys. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Phenomenal. So if you guys will get on the mic here, let's talk about, and guys, I want questions.
We do have questions.
I want questions for Driving for Dollar. I want best practices. I want to know what do you look for? What's the best deals? What are you guys seeing from a high level? Because we can answer a lot of those questions just ourselves, but the advantage of having you guys here is you guys have the insider information of what is going on out there. You're getting a lot of feedback. You're getting a lot of testimonials. You got a lot of data points to understand. I mean, if you'll switch over real quick, when we have a second here, I'm going to show you our Deal Machine pulled up right here, just so that you guys understand that we do use this. We have built right here, if you look here, 3,947 leads that we have just in the city of Phoenix. Okay. Now we built that over the last couple years, and we're going to revamp that because obviously it's changed. You know, some people have fixed and flipped. Some people, aren't on this list anymore. And some properties have gotten worse to the point where now they fit the criteria. But when people ask you, what is Driving for Dollars and how does it help the business? How do you answer that?
Well, first of all, this is a beautiful studio. It's the first time I've ever been here on a live show, and I just wanted to say it's great to see you leveling up and continuing to get better.
This is nothing. Wait, 60, 90
you got a
days.
Plan?
Oh,
60, 90 day plan?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You have no idea. Yeah.
So what is Driving for Dollars?
Yeah.
It is looking for rundown houses and getting in touch with the owners to see if they have a timeline and an interest in selling their property. And if they do, then you can help them out with that. The reason why it's valuable is because of all the lists that you could pull. As you mentioned before, you could pull hedge fund owners, you can pull properties that are absentee owned or vacant, but the one list that you cannot pull, that you have to go out and find yourself, is the one that is distressed properties, and especially the ones that are recently distressed because you drove by and you saw that they were distressed.
Right. And
so that's why it's valuable. You can send less mail to less properties to get a deal there because there's less people that have that list because it's kind of hard to get.
It's the first 20 deals that I did. First 20 deals. And the only reason it wasn't the first 30 deals is because a couple in that mix were referrals that I got. But the rest of them were Driving for Dollars. It's what I built this whole business on. And 80% of new real estate investors get their first deal from Driving for Dollars. That's just a fact. So how do people do this the most effective, right? What have you guys built here that kind of sets Deal Machine apart, and how can they take advantage of it?
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, when I was starting out, I struggled. I was building my list. I was writing down addresses, and that was causing me to have a follow-up problem because I was addicted to finding the properties, and I had been building my list, maybe 100 leads over the course of 30 days, and that was not enough to I didn't handwrite those letters right away. So being able to be in front of the house and send a postcard immediately will get you in front of that owner right away. So if they do want to sell in a short time frame, you can be the one that helps them. So at the very basic level, I mean, that's all Deal Machine is it lets you pin the property, see who owns it, send or cold call, right? You can export your lists.
Well, let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about the mailing, direct mail approach here, because I think if you have somewhat of a budget, right, and you have a list of 1,000, 2,000 Driving for Dollars, they literally press a button. Right. It customizes a postcard,
Right.
it sends it to them on a how often basis?
You can set it, but 21 days is the default. So
Every
3
21
weeks.
days, they're getting some mailer from you, right?
Right.
From the individual person that's sending that out.
Right.
And you don't need to have a huge budget because you're going after the ugliest properties as opposed to pulling a list where you're assuming they're all ugly
Right.
and you're having to mail to 15, 20, 100, 200,000 addresses in the hopes that you find the worst of the worst ones so that you can get the biggest profits. You
Right.
just set it up so that, boom, you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, a couple other things that it helps you do is if you've got a spouse or a business partner and you guys both want to be out there driving,
Yeah.
it'll keep track of where each of you have been so that you don't overlap the same routes.
I love it. Yep. So nitty gritty, right? How many addresses per deal?
Depends on where you're at.
There we
but
go. Go ahead.
It ranges from 300 to 1,200. And if you're in a lower cost market, it's going to be on the lower side. And if you're in a higher cost market, like, Austin, Texas, or California, it's going to be on the high side. You're going
1,200.
to find a lot of properties. Yeah, and send the mail and or cold call rather.
Yep.
How many times do you suggest that they call a property that's on a list like that?
2 to 3 times.
That's
I
it?
mean, it depends. And then shelf it for 6 months and then go through it again.
Okay.
Yep. Because here's the thing. Anytime that you're calling somebody, the first time you go through a list, you're going to get the highest contact rate. And then it's going to drop off. So the first time you call through, it's people that answer the phones of, strangers calling them. It's just they just have to. They love it. They love answering. They love answering the phone, And then the second time you kind of get the people that are like, I wonder who this is. And then the third time it's like, all the people that are like, I'm never going to answer a call from somebody that I don't know. And so it really, you could call through the list more. The issue is your contact rate goes way down, which means you're spending hours not talking to enough people. And we know we need to talk to 200 people to get a deal. So if I could talk to 10 people an hour, I can do a deal in 20 hours. But if I am only talking to 2 people, it takes forever. It takes 100 hours. And that's when you see the frustration and the burnout of a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, let's say you're in Phoenix and you add 500 properties driving for dollars.
Yes.
And you cold call all of them and you haven't got a deal.
Yeah.
Should you just hang up, and go invest in crypto instead? Like, do you just give up?
Well, it certainly depends on if you have a brain for real estate, right? I really believe that we're just different people. We're just really want to be real estate entrepreneurs. It's not a flash in the pan. It's not just a strategy for right now. This is something that is long term. This is something that is lifetime. This is something that you start building young. You're done in 7 years. You know what I mean? Like it's that powerful, and you're not always chasing the dragon. You know what I mean? Always chasing the ups and downs of different strategies. So if you want to be a businessman and go out and just find different avenues to make money, that's fantastic. But most of the audience is people that want to have big, robust portfolios and understand the unique advantages of being a real estate entrepreneur. That's it. So no, you do not quit. You keep going and you keep pushing and you keep building, because the more experience you have, the more you can recognize the potential of every single deal that you're talking to. Right? Good.
Yeah. I will say, one, thanks again for having both of us on.
Yeah.
I always have a good time here. I know I'm the tall guy here.
Is that good? I love that I'm standing and David's sitting and we're like the same height.
I'm crouching down here. That range that David gave as well, that there are a lot of variables to that. So like, hey, the more touch points you have with somebody, like you said, somebody might answer a call easier, someone might answer a text. We see plenty of people, because you're out driving for dollars, we see plenty of people door knocking, leaving door hangers, things like that.
Yep.
And then mix in that mail. So having a marketing mix, not to overcomplicate it, but having that marketing mix is going to skew you down on number of leads you need to get to that deal. And I think no matter what, the variable that matters most is not necessarily leads per deal, it's return on your investment. So it's, hey, it might take more leads to get to a deal in a competitive market, but you're going to make a way bigger wholesale fee from that deal.
Yep.
Versus, the less leads market where you're going to have a smaller deal come from that. So.
Yep.
Just to make sure you think
and
about
I
it
also
the right
think
way.
it's a timing thing. It goes back to the timing situation. If you look at ours in Phoenix and you see the 3,600 properties that we have in our database, it's probably 25 deals for us. So I mean, the 1 to 300 is very high. I mean, that might be a direct mail, but for us, over time, over a few years, this isn't just this year. You get these deals, and it's much less than 1 out of 300 in our experience.
Yeah, and we tell people that so that way they're getting in the mindset of, hey, going out there and just build that list right away.
Yep.
Because over time, you're going to build that momentum and want to help you get that first win as quickly as possible.
If you like that video, hit that subscribe button. We come out with new videos every single day. And if you want your questions answered, like you and I, one-on-one, make sure that you join us for the live show every single Wednesday. I will see you there.